So our second lesson that we're going to be looking at is linear equations. So if we look at the first problem, we're looking at 6c minus 3 equals 3c. So the first step of this problem is we must solve for c. So we're going to determine 6c minus 3 equals 3c. Now it's going to seem a little backwards, but because we only have one constant term in this problem, I'm actually going to subtract 6c to isolate a constant on one side and the variables on the other. Now when I subtract, negative 3 comes down, equals 3 minus 6 is going to be a negative 3c. When I divide by negative 3, the identity property says anything divided by itself is 1, so our answer is c is 1. Now when I look at my answer choices, I notice that I don't have the answer of 1 in the problem. So it's important for me to take 1 and plug it in for c. 18 times 1 is 18. Now, as we look at our next questions, this is going to be just a quick review of operations. If there's a minus, we do the opposite. So we're going to do plus 5, and so our answer is x equals 26. If there's a plus 4, we're going to do the opposite operation. We're going to minus 4. That's going to give us an answer of a is equal to 12. If it's 2 times in, we do the opposite operation. So we're going to divide by 2, and is equal to 12. And then finally, if it's divided by 4, we're going to multiply by 4. We're going to do the opposite. So that's times 4. And so 8 times 4 is 32. So x is equal to 32. On the second set of problems, we now have a two-step equation where we put the two pieces together. Now we're going to subtract 5 from both sides first. So we're going to subtract 5. I'm left with 3b is equal to 6, divide by 3, and our answer is b equals 2. On the second problem, we've got if 3x minus 4 divided by 2 equals 4, first step is going to be to multiply by 2. That gives us 3x minus 4 is equal to 8. And then it's a two-step equation. Plus 4, 3x equals 12. Divide by 3, and x equals 4. For application problems, getting a little fancier because now we have an x in the denominator, but just like we did before, if we're dividing by something, we must then multiply by that same term, and we're going to multiply this side by x. That leaves us the problem 3x is equal to 5 minus x. Add 1x to both sides, add 1x, and we're left with 4x is equal to 5. We're going to divide by 4, and we get x is equal to 5 over 4. Now, once again, we don't see the answer choice because we have to substitute this value in for x. So we're going to multiply 8 times 5 divided by 4. When we multiply fractions, we multiply straight across. So 8 is the same as 8 over 1, and this is 40 over 4, which is equal to 10. And so our answer should be 10. This next one, two-step equation, add 5 to both sides, add 5, we're left with 2x is equal to 22, divide by 2, we get x is equal to 11. Now, it's important to note, it's very tempting to mark A, but we want to know what 4x is. So we're going to substitute that value in. 4 times 11 is 44. Finally, the practice problems are going to be set up just exactly the same way. I'll work them quickly as the ones we just looked at. Multiply multiply times x times x. So we're going to multiply by x, multiply times x. We get 5x is equal to 12 minus x. Add an x to both sides, add an x to both sides. 6x is equal to 12. Divide by 6, divide by 6, x equals 2. We got our answer. As we look at the next one, we're having to solve for an unknown variable. Here it's telling us that t equals 96. So in this problem, we're going to say 96 is equal to 100 minus x divided by 305. Because this 100 is just sitting there, we're going to subtract it from both sides. Subtract it from both sides. 96 minus 100 is a negative 4 equals negative x divided by 305. Because we need to remove a negative 305, we're going to multiply, because it's currently divided, negative 305, multiply times negative 305. Negative 305 times the negative 4 is going to give us an answer of 1,220. Finally, last question. 5n minus 2 is equal to n. Seems pretty straightforward. So we're going to have 5n minus 2 is equal to n. Subtract 5n from both sides. We've got to isolate that constant term on the left. We're going to get negative 2 is equal to negative 4. And we're going to divide by negative 4, because that's negative 4 times n, divided by negative 4. And we have 1/2 is equal to n. Very tempting, once again, to take your answer and say that it is 1/2. However, we have to do 32 times 1/2. Well, we multiply fractions straight across, so 32 becomes 32 over 1. 32 times 1 is 32. 1 times 2 is 2. 32 divided by 2 is 16. And so our answer here is 16. And that concludes this lesson. Thank you.